Welcome to this session for releasing weight of the shoulders. Before I start talking, let's come into a comfortable position. I hope my voice is clear. Yes. So, whichever position you would like to sit in, you can sit on a chair. If you're sitting on a chair, make sure only your buttocks is on the chair and the legs are off the chair. Feet softly but fully connected to the ground. If you are sitting cross-legged, make sure that your knees are not elevated and higher than your hips. If that is the case, then it is better to sit on a bolster or a block, lifting the hips slightly so the knees can just in a relaxed way drop down towards the ground. If it is impossible for you to have your knees off the ground, then bolster the knees with some support so that they can just rest, so that the hip flexor can rest and doesn't have to go into holding and gripping. And then as your body relaxes, you can let go more and more or make the support lower and lower, adapting to how your body opens up. Once you are seated, whether you are on a bit of a lift or whether you are directly on the ground, take the flesh away from the sitting bones. Lift the front of your body with your inhale. Drop the rest of your body, in particular the shoulders, with your out breath. Let the jaws relaxed. Maybe you can do a bit of to relax your jaw even more. Soften your eyes and take your awareness inside. So watch yourself from the inside. So you're giving yourself this moment to just be here for you. So the shoulders, there is a saying that goes with the shoulders, that one carries the weight of the world on one's shoulder. So loosening the shoulder space is not only something we do on a physical realm. It's not just loosening the shoulders, it's actually dropping that weight you are carrying, the different personas you are having to become and be to function in day-to-day life. I'm not saying that everyone is playing an act. What I am saying that there is a certain way we have to carry ourselves in life so that things work, that we function. So when we are mothers, for instance, or fathers, sometimes even though we feel softly towards our children, we have to show that very firm front and give some boundaries. So let go of that part of you that is a parent. Sometimes in work, we have to work very fast, or we have to give a really strong front. So let go of that part of you that has to be that strong front, that has to work fast and speedy. Whatever it is, for each of us, this is something different. Whatever it is that you have to hold in your day-to-day life, in this moment, whilst you come in, giving time just to you, let all that go. Your role as a wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, father, mother, daughter, son, worker. And just allow yourself to arrive in your center, that part of you that can just be, that can just let go. There is nothing right now you have to do apart from be with yourself and whatever you are becoming aware of in this moment. And every in-breath allows you to grow wider and more open. Receiving that breath, allowing it to grow within you in all dimensions, to the front, to the sides, to the back. And on your out breath, you can softly, gently soften and trust your weight to earth. And isn't it wonderful to know that your out breath allows you to release of that which you carry without you having to do anything for it. It just happens every minute of the day. So just trust your way to that out breath, making more space for that in breath. Allow yourself to grow through your crown into the width, into the height. Bringing lightness into your being. Dropping softly any weight that you carry into earth. So keep breathing in that way whilst I open with the starting mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. You can join me for the Om Shanti if you wish. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bring your hands to your heart and let's do 3 Oms. So the sound Aum. You can do them internally, so Aum in equal parts, or let your voice be heard. Know that if you do the Aum with your voice, you are vibrating your cells, allowing them to release even more and more efficiently, like shaking out a duvet cover. So take a deep inhale. Keep going 3 times. Feeling the resonance in your body and maybe mind and soul after the sound has faded. Receive the in-breath for another Om. Let your hands drop and just take your awareness inside for a moment, noticing what you notice. How are your feelings? How is your mind? How is your body? So yoga is about becoming conscious of what is going on inside. Bringing your awareness inside. How is your breath? How do you feel? And how is your mood now? And then let go of this and let's loosen the legs for a moment. before we go into the cross-legged position again. So it's best you remember which leg you had on top so that you can do it the other way in a moment. So shake your legs out, circle your feet in very gently, making sure you use the full range of movement of your ankles. And then circle the other way, opening out. If you are not using the full range of movement of your ankles, become aware why that might be happening. So meet those areas where you might be unconsciously avoiding to go to. Meet them with your breath. Meet them kindly. Meet them openly, with curiosity and playfulness. And then shake the right leg, shake the left leg, spread your toes, relax your toes, point the toes away, bring them towards you. Do this in a pointed foot position and in a flexed foot position, spreading, pointing, flexing, and then shake out again. Good. Now we are going to take one leg, so I'm taking my right leg, and I like to call this position cradling the baby. So you take hold of your knee here, either with your hand or with your elbow, depending on your flexibility. And it doesn't matter, there is no sense of achievement here or no sense of competition, just becoming aware of where you are at right now. And then either take the foot with the hand on the outside of the foot, or with your elbow if your body allows you to do so. And then take the leg from side to side like this, bringing some spaciousness to your hip joint. The first part of the session we are going to be working on the shoulders, but we are going to do so sitting down. So we're doing a 2-in-1. And let the warmth of your hands, the warmth of your palms stream into your body. It is no coincidence that when we greet people, we greet them with our palm, with an open palm. We greet them with warmth. So greet your shins and your lower leg with warmth. And then let that leg go. Take the other leg towards you, either with the hands or with the elbows. Maybe you have your hand up here and your elbow down there, or the other way around. Just find what suits you. Stay in your uprightness as much as possible here, and then bring spaciousness to your hip joint. And then find a cross-legged position. Now, this is for everybody who wants to sit on the ground. If you are sat on a chair, then please just stay with your feet softly meeting the ground as we're doing this next practice. If you are able to sit on the ground, then come into Sukhasana, easy position. So just an easy cross-legged position. If you were in the cross-legged position earlier, then cross and uncross and go the other way, just so we get a bit of balance. And you will probably straight away feel that this feels a little bit unusual for you sitting the other way. It almost feels like you're doing it wrong, but you're not. It's just your body is not used to it. And this is something really good to bring your awareness of into your yoga practice, that sometimes you're doing something in the yoga practice, you're doing an asana or a particular stretch that you haven't done before, and it just feels wrong. Even though it might not be wrong, it's not a habit for you. Your body has not become adjusted to it. So the alarm bells go on saying, oh, this is new. I don't know this. Is this good for me? So just noticing that this happens in something as simple as this cross-legged position. And then bring yourself to the uprightness and Then we're going to bring some work into the shoulders to start with. So we're going to engage the shoulders, and this will be counterintuitive perhaps. I want you to do the opposite of what I normally tell you to do. Take your shoulders up as much as you can, really contracting that area, letting the shoulders work for you. And then do little movements, slow movements with your head, just going into that contraction on both sides a little more. And then release with an out breath. Let go. And feel that blood flow into your shoulders now. So by doing these things, we're inviting the blood flow into our shoulders. And then we do that one more time. Taking the shoulders up as high as you can, contracting, and then letting the head go in all sorts of direction. You can make a lemniscate with your crown, so like a figure of 8, or go from side to side. And then softly letting go. Allowing the blood stream in. And then take your arms to the side. Turning the shoulders over until it is uncomfortable. And letting the head go along with it. So you're slightly rounding your upper back here as well. And then imagine that you are being spiraled out from your fingertips. So your fingertips are the initiator to uncurl again. So the thumbs slowly start to come up. But it is as if there are strings beyond your fingertips that are uprighting your arms. And when the movement then arrives at the shoulders, then you bring your head up. So do this again, and this time again start the movement from your fingertips. So those strings at your fingertips are starting to twist forward. Your head is still in the upright. And then at some point you will feel that your shoulders are being forced forward, and then your head. And you let your head go. And then you start to uncurl again, initiated by the fingertips. So the head stays down, the shoulders stay down, until at some point the inner elbows show upwards, and that's when the shoulders start moving up and we come into this uprightness. And then let go again. Notice what you notice, feel what you feel. That blood flow into the shoulders. Cross and uncross one more time. So we're going back to our comfortable seated, I trust, comfortable. For some of you it might not be comfortable at all to be in this pose, but know that the more you do it, the more your body will get adjusted to it, the more your body will actually love it, because this is a very earthing, grounding position to be in. Take the flesh away again from the sitting bones, just in case we started slouching. Lift the front of your body, soften the shoulders. And then let your head, so imagine you have this point at the crown, and take your chin slightly down, and then start doing a figure of 8 to the right and left with your crown to the front, in front of you, as if you had an invisible long brush, painting brush, and you were, for some bizarre reason, trying to paint a figure of 8 with the top of your head. Let your eyes be soft, let your jaws be soft as you're doing this, let your shoulders relax. And let the crown lead the movement, and the chin is following. And just feel with your breath, so deep in your in-breath, feel what this movement feels like for your shoulders. And then let go of that, let your head just drop, whilst keeping the front of your trunk upright, and then roll up, uncurl one vertebra at a time from the back of your spine. And just sit here for a moment. Notice what you notice. And then come into Siddhasana. So this is a heel, groin position, if this is available for you. If this is hard for you to sit like this, either make yourself more of a lift so that you can have your knees down. You can do this with a bolster or a few of these or a few pleated blankets. And you let the back of your foot as much as possible face the ground, and then take the flesh away from the sitting bones again. And now we're going to take the hands on our shoulders and roll forward. And if that feels all right for you, roll forward with your body as well. And this time it is okay to round your back. And then circle the shoulders back, opening, and bring your body back to uprightness. Rolling forward. Rolling backwards, opening. And now synchronize your breath with that. Breathe out. Breathe in, connecting to the height, connecting to the width and openness. And now open your arms and let your arms flow back. And then we're taking the feet together like this. Again, if you have been seated, elevated on a block, then perhaps stay on your block, and maybe it might be so. For me, sitting in Siddhasana or Sukhasana, I don't need to sit on anything because I have enough openness there. But when I come with my feet together, that changes for me. You can see that my knees are coming up. So I grab myself a bit of a lift to make this more comfortable, to make this easier on myself. And as you can see, I'm only on this elevation with a part of my buttocks, just to allow the knees to drop. If this feels really uncomfortable on the inner thighs, then bolster it up with a few cushions or a few blankets. And now we're going to work the shoulders in synchronicity with the spine. So take your arm to the side, connect the fingertips to the periphery. Imagine you have these feeling strings beyond your fingertips. And imagine space, moving your arm up, coming to one side, soften the shoulders, and then come back again. And really feel like that movement is happening from beyond you. So it's not your spine initiating it, it is your fingertips that are moving and the body just follows. So let me show the difference. If I were to be doing that with my body, it would look like this. If I do this from my fingers, it looks like this. So the body only comes along when it has no choice but to come along. And that creates a different kind of openness in the shoulders and in your vertebrae. And again, it's something we're not used to, so we have to train our body to move in this way. And make sure you keep your knees relaxed as you're working in this way. Keep softening the legs down. So even for me, I sometimes intuitively or unconsciously move my body already in that direction before my arm has indicated for me to do so. So let your fingertips lead you. Let your limbs lead you through the space. And then the movement becomes effortless. You effortlessly bring your spine to an openness. And here my fingertips are lifting my body back up. Yoga is also about countering our habits. So breaking up the habits to discover something new. And when we break mind patterns through breaking body patterns, we also release any areas in our body where we might have become rigid, or we might have started to hold on to things that don't serve us. So we're just opening the space for us to have this revealed to us. Okay, next we are going into Vajrasana. So as you can see, I'm taking you through different seated movements. So we're also working our legs just quite easily whilst we're doing this. Once you go into Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose, if this comes easy to you, just stay with that and become aware of how easy it is to have the spine in an upright position. Come a little forward. That's it. If this is hard for you to be in, you can use a blanket or a cushion and put it between your heels and your body and prop it up enough so this becomes comfortable. If it is actually comfortable underneath the front of your ankle, then you can take either rolled up socks or that very same blanket and put it underneath your foot to give yourself a little bit of cushioning there. So depending what your issue with sitting in this kneeling position is, the solution is a different one. Now take your arms to the side. Fingertips connecting to the distance. Open wide, palms facing up. Come in, palms facing down. Open wide and come back together. Feel that stretch between the shoulder blades as you're doing so, and change which elbow you are taking on top. And now come back to where you have your right elbow on top and just take hold of your shoulder blades and widen the shoulders so you get a stretch between the shoulders. Then upright your body and bring the back of the hands first towards each other. If that isn't available for you because you can't cross your elbows over each other, just come into this position. As long as you feel a stretch between the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, then you are in the right position, and just breathe into that. If it is easy for you to come into this position, you can take the elbows on top of each other, backhand meets backhand, fingertips lengthening, elongating to the top. And if you are quite flexible in your arms, you can bring the palms to meet each other. So you are in the spiral that we do in eagle pose. And then imagine those strings on your fingertips again, effortlessly lengthening the fingers up. So there's no tension in the hands whatsoever. The hands are just effortlessly coming up, lifted upwards. And then you soften your shoulders down, wide your shoulders. And then take your elbows up and down and feel how just that changes the stretch for you. And you can here be playful again. What is better for you, taking the elbows like this or taking the elbows up with the fingertips on the same plane, or coming off the plane and taking the elbows back? See what feels more opening, more absorbing for you. And then undo the cross, open the arms wide, and we start again from where we were, opening the palms up, opening the palms down, bringing the shoulders on top of each other, opening into the width, feeling that stretch coming across, and then the other elbow on top. Deep inhale, soft exhale, and then at some point we take the left elbow above the right elbow, and the hands go as far as they can reach towards the shoulders or the upper back. And then widening the upper back. So shoulders going apart. And you can, if that is possible for you, just extend a little bit by pulling with your hands. And you can also drop your head. Not possible for me because of the mic. It's a bit hard to drop my head, but you can. And then upright your body again and take backhand to backhand, palm to palm, or so palm to palm like this with the inside of the elbows meeting, or palm to palm by spiraling the lower arms around each other and then feeling that lift, that lightness through your fingertips. So as much as possible, you want not a forcing round as to any extremes, but a lightness where the fingertips are lifted upwards. And that doesn't matter whether this is here, we can have the same lightness anywhere, or here. And then you can go up and down, either describing a circle with your fingertips, going a little bit behind you, or coming up and down. See what feels best for you. Invite your inner child to be playful. And then let go of that, shake the arms out. Bring the palms on top of each other. Feel what you feel. Notice what you notice. And then come up and come onto all fours. When you are on all fours, if this is uncomfortable for your knees, take some blocks or cushion and put them underneath your knees. And then connect your palms to the ground softly and gently. Let your palms really meet the ground. Make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. And just allow the weight to evenly distribute between the hands. And then I'll take my left arm, but you can start with your right arm, if you wish, opening up and coming back down. First, just here on the side, on shoulder level. And again, I would like you, if you wish, to take that imagination of the strings on your fingertips and space moving. You allow the space to become alive, and the space to be like a little wind that's coming in underneath your palms, moving your hands up, moving your hands down. Or like a puppeteer that is standing by the walls of where your fingers are pointing. And then as you come up as high as that is available for you, twisting slightly from the spine. And as you come down now, you take the arm underneath and stay down here for a moment. And then with the next inhale, coming back up. Breathe out, come down, sliding your arm on the ground. And if at any point it feels like, I just want to stay down there for a moment, or I want to stay up here for a moment, please do. Listen to your body and see what it is you need. So I'm going to stay down here for a moment. Drop the other arm if you are here and feel again that stretch between the shoulders. Then gently coming back up. And now we're going to make a circle with the arms. So we're going to open to the front, Coming to the side and back behind us and back down. Inhale, exhale. And you can again fill that space between your fingertips and whatever your fingertips are pointing to with your imagination. And you can imagine that puppeteer in space, moving your fingertips, and your body's just following that movement that's coming to you from space. And then the next time, let your arm come forward. Your hips are above your knees. And just stretching down here to the ground as far as is comfortable for you. And then taking the other arm to the side like this. And you can, if you have a book or a block, do this also with your arm on a block. I find this with a little bit of height here more comfortable and more freeing. So you have one arm like this and the other arm to the side. Just letting that right shoulder drop if you have your left arm at the front on top of the block or on the ground. And let your head drop too. And your head can even go a little bit from side to side here, if that feels good for your neck. And then slowly coming back up. And then we repeat that whole sequence to the other side. Remember, if your knees start feeling uncomfortable and you haven't bolstered them up yet, please put something, either a folded blanket or a cushion, underneath your knees like this. If it is your kneecaps that are uncomfortable, then place your lower leg on the lift and your kneecaps just being in the air, suspended in the air. So see, make yourself comfortable. Do what it is you need to do. And again, distribute your weight on your wrists evenly through all the fingers. Bring warmth into your fingers, into your palms, towards the earth. Trusting the weight of your arms and hands to earth. And I did my left arm earlier, so now I'm going to take my right arm up. So you come from one side to the other, bringing that imagination of the puppeteer. And I talk a lot about imagination in these sessions that I'm doing. This is because imagination is just as much as our physical muscles, a capacity and ability that we need to train. And especially if you have work or in your day-to-day life you need to be on screens a lot, then that capacity to imagine is not being trained. So we are training our imagination, and through working with our imagination we allow our body to open up more and to loosen up more. So let those strings guide your fingers up and down. Soften your shoulders as you do this. So as if your shoulders were being moved passively. So if someone was taking your fingers and lifting your arms, how would your shoulders be if your shoulders could just soften and not do anything at all? And then you take your arm, the back of the hand sliding along the ground, coming down. Make sure you have your hips still above your knees, and then coming back out. Inhale up. Breathe out, come down. And if at any point, just as we did on the other side, you feel like you want to be up here a little, or you want to be down here a little longer, please follow what feels right for you. And that other arm, so I'm working with my right arm, the left arm can also stretch to the front here if that feels good for you. Just giving your weight to the ground. And then you come back up, taking that right arm forward with the palm facing outwards and away from you. Opening to the back, and here the palm starts facing your body again. Coming up, and then the little finger comes up, palm away from you, and back down. And see if you can bring that imagination of being moved by your fingertips, and your fingertips like extended feelers going into space, feeling everything that is in the periphery, everything that your fingers are pointing at. See if you can bring that in without even having to look where your fingers are pointing at. So right now, I am facing with my fingers the conservatory roof. So it's glass that I'm feeling. And when I'm at this point, level with my body, then I'm feeling the walls or the windows. And at some point, I bring my arm forward and the other arm to the side. And feel that stretch just near my armpit. And if it feels better for you to come to the ground, please do. And sometimes we start here and then we realize, my body has opened up and softened into this. Then we can let go of the cork block at some point. Check that you have your hips above your knees. And then you can also move with your head from side to side. Bringing a bit of spaciousness to the upper spine. And come back to the middle. Now, I did say in the description that we might need cork blocks or books. So this is the time when that comes in. And I'm guessing this will be better to show it sideways. So we're in the same position now. If you don't have books or cork blocks, then you try and do the same thing. It's also possible. It's just a slightly different angle with your shoulders on top of your hands. If you have the cork blocks, then you bring your forearms onto the cork blocks like this, and then create space between your shoulders and your ears. Let your hands relax. And then just drop in with your body in between your shoulders and come back out again. So the chest lowers and comes away again. And then start rolling your shoulders, but by rolling your chest forward, backwards, and down within your shoulders. Can you see that? It's kind of hard to explain. So the shoulders stay back, but the chest drops in, and you're rolling your head around your shoulders, the chest coming back, down, forward, and up. So this is not just stretching, this is also working the shoulder region. And yoga is not just about increasing your flexibility, it is also about making your body stronger. So a strong muscle can also be flexible. And then if you would like more of a challenge, if you're not finding this hard enough yet, then you can do this alternating. So whilst one shoulder is forward, the other shoulder is back, and then shifting around, rolling the shoulders in two directions. I'm going to try and show this forward like this. So the movement we were doing was this first, with both sides doing the same thing. Now one shoulder is up, one shoulder is down, then both shoulders are down, then the other shoulder goes forward, chest comes a little lower again, and then we align again. So our chest is making a circle like this. if that is too hard right now because you're still trying to accommodate your thinking with this circle, then please just stay with this one for now. We will be revisiting this. Okay. Good. Now, the last stretch we're going to do down here is another stretch where it's nice to use these blocks or books or anything you have that can give a little bit of lift. And then walk your knees away from that lift. You can also make that lift a little higher. So see what feels right for you once we get into it. Walk your knees away. This is a little bit what we do in the downward dog. And walk your knees away enough so when you stretch down, your hips are still above your knees. And then use those blocks, or if your hands are on the ground, as levers to push onto, and then stretch the sitting bones away. And then you feel that stretch in the front of the body. Breathing deeply, softening, letting the weight drop off your shoulders. And then let go of that, let go of these lifts. If you were in the lift, bring your hips to the heels and come into a child pose. And here you can take your arms into any position that feels right for you. I like it with my arms extended in front of me, like this, like I'm doing right now. But you can also just take your arms to the side or next to your body. You can also explore, see what feels right to you right now. And then arrive at your breath, bringing your awareness inside. Allowing what arises to arise, being with it, fully immersing yourself in any feelings if they come up for you, allowing them their space. Because this practice, working with the shoulders, might bring into your awareness areas of your body where you are holding a weight on your shoulders that perhaps you don't need to hold anymore, that perhaps just has become a habit to hold. So whatever arises, give it its space, allow it to be there, breathe into it with awareness. And maybe you can also see what it is you need around that. Why are you holding and carrying what you are carrying? Is it still necessary? And sometimes just asking that question is enough. Okay. Now you can come up into a standing position. So take one leg forward, bring your hands onto your thighs, and this is a good way to come up for your shoulders. And then find a wall. Once you have found that wall, take your feet about a foot away from the wall. Let your feet be hip width apart, and then lean with your back against the wall and let your shoulders drop. Let your hands be heavy. And then let your head drop. Let your hands continue to be heavy, and then let your shoulders drop. Your hips are still leaning against the wall. As you start curling down, one vertebra at a time, perhaps your knees start to bend a little more. Soften your feet into the ground. Check if there is any gripping in the toes and see if you can relax that gripping in the toes. And then at some point your body meets your thighs. If this is not possible for you to do against the wall, do it on a chair. So with the buttocks on a chair, but not the thighs. And then once you are here in this position, curled over your legs, maybe take your hands to the ground and lengthen the spine a little so that the lower parts of your trunk can connect to your thighs with more openness, and then drop the head again. Just let the head dangle, saying yes, yes, no, no. A little bit of a wiggle. And then take your palms and place them on your sacrum, so the back of your hips. And remember the warmth of your hands streaming into your pelvis, streaming into your hips, streaming from the hips into your whole body. And here you can, if that feels right for you, if you have not got a stretch on the back of your thighs, just walk your sitting bones a little higher on the wall until you feel that stretch. But do not compromise the connection between your body and your thighs. So you can only go high enough that your body still stays in connection with your thighs, so that your spine can be relaxed and open. If it is possible for you, and if you wish to do it, you can now interlink the fingers and then extend the hands away from you. Make sure the shoulders are away from the ears, and then take your hands up and over as far as they will go. You can also extend the index fingers and lengthen them into the space. And then just give your hands to gravity. And again, there is nowhere to reach. There is no judgment over how high the arms come over your head. Just coming to where the stretch still allows you to breathe with comfort. And if you're not sure if your breath is relaxed or not, try and say a few words. If you're getting out of breath while speaking, then that is an indication that your breath is becoming tight. Breathe deeply. Let your breath flow into the ground through the back of your legs. Let your in-breath expand into your body, expand into the back of your thighs, expand towards your spine. And then with your next inhale, again, let the whole trunk widen, expand. If at any point your arms get tired up here, just place them back on the back of your pelvis. Breathe out. Imagine as you're breathing out, you can even do it with your hands, let the palms go down the back of your thighs into the ground, streaming away any tension, should there be any. In particular, with your out breath, you can do the streaming down. You can even start it at your lower spine. Is your head still relaxed? Are your jaws relaxed? Are your eyes soft? And then with your next in-breath, after you have streamed down, let your arms drop to the ground and then start curling up very slowly, one vertebra at a time, with your in-breath. Keep your arms heavy. And let your arms come up to the wall. And then lean with your arms up against the wall. On an out breath, let's do a wide circle outwards and curl back down again towards the legs. On an inhale, come back up. Breathe out, come down. You can also take 1 or 2 breaths on your way down, see what feels right for you, but initiate the movement upwards with your inhale, so you come in connection with the upward force, the prana vayu, and the out breath, come down, getting in connection with the downward force, apana vayu. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale. Walk your feet back to the wall and then come into any position in space where you can just stand on both feet again. Bring your feet into a position where they are hip width apart. Let your knees relax, let your toes soften. Soften, elongate, and relax your toes, the balls of your feet and the heels into the ground. Let your hands be soft, giving them to gravity. Imagine the inhale coming up the front of your body, the out breath coming down the back. Bring your pelvis into an upright position by imagining the bunch of helium balloons attached to the space just below your navel, and thus bringing your pelvis into an upright position. So this is different to the tucking under, which would do this with your back. It's a length on the lower back. So you can emphasize this by streaming up the front, streaming down the back, like this. Inhale up, exhale down, and the forces happen evenly through the in-breath, through the out-breath. And just imagine that now without your hands, and then bringing your head into that same energy stream. So tuck the chin in slightly, keep the crown connected, lengthen the back of the neck, and then perhaps stream up your neck. Bringing that head into alignment so that the channel of your spine is open. Bring length to your spine, soften the periphery to the ground. And then let your eyes roll to the left. And then let your nose follow. And then let your eyes roll to the right and let your nose follow. So letting the eyes roll to the left, nose follows the eyes whilst they are in the left socket, eyes roll to the right, let the nose follow. You can stay in your standing, upright standing position as you're doing this. I'm only coming close here so that you can see. And then come back to the middle and just stand in your uprightness. Notice what you notice. See how your eyes feel. See how your shoulders and neck feels. And then do the same, but this time we're going in a diagonal direction. So from up left to down right. So take your eyes, whilst your face is not moving yet, just take your eyes to the left top circle and then to the right bottom circle. Up and down. And then follow with your nose. So eyes, left hand corner socket at the top, diagonally up, and then the nose follows. And then the eyes go diagonally down towards the right, and then the nose follows. Let the eyes precede the movement of the face. One more time. Come back to the middle. Notice what you notice. Are your feet still soft on the ground? Is there softness in the base of your toes? Is there openness, width in the base of your toes and in the balls of your feet and in the heels? Can you broaden your base? And then take your eyes to the right hand top corner and down to the left hand bottom corner. So you go diagonal along this line now. And then your nose follows. Eyes go up, then the nose follows. Eyes go down, and then the nose follows. This is so effective for opening the spaces in our upper spine. But also the eyes are strongly connected to mind patterns we might be holding on to. So calming in with your awareness as you're doing this. Allow everything that arises to arise. Give it its space and take a mental note of what has come up. Maybe you can look at it later. Why has that particular thought or feeling come up for me when I was doing these movements? And then come back to the middle. Notice what you notice. Bring your head back into the nice upward space and just allow. And then take your legs into a wide position. So the position we would take if we're doing Devyasana or Kali pose. So feet wide, toes pointing outwards, knees come out, so you feel a slight stretch on the inner thighs. So just come out enough that you start feeling a bit of a stretch. And then drop your weight down. So we're doing a 2-in-1 again. Take your right shoulder, your right arm behind you like this. And then grab hold of that. Wrists if you can, or just fingertips if that isn't available to you, with your other hand. So pull that over as far as is comfortable. Keep your head in alignment and then just let your head drop to the left. So your left ear to your left shoulder. And see if you're holding any tightness in that left shoulder. Let both shoulders drop down and then feel that stretch on that side. It's the head turner muscle, sternocleidomastoideus, or SCM muscle. That often holds a lot of tightness. And if you wish, you can do little gentle movements here, being playful again. You can do this with your eyes closed. If your legs are burning already, good. Engage your pelvic floor perhaps a little as you're holding this position. Are your feet still softening into the ground? And then let go of that. Feel the difference between both shoulders. And then take your left arm over behind you like this, grabbing hold of the hand or the fingertips, whatever is best for you. Dropping both shoulders. If your legs become really too tired that you can't stay here anymore, then come together. If you can still hold it, and perhaps if you can even go a little lower, please do. And then bring your head into uprightness, so shift your head back, drop your right ear to your right shoulder, drop and soften both shoulders to the ground. And if you wish to do any movements, please do. Meeting wherever it is you feel you need the stretch, and then perhaps staying still there. And then come back together. Have you felt those burning legs? Now we're going to do a balancing stretch. And then, so that is 1 stretch and 2 balances we're going to do in succession. So take your left leg forward your right leg back, like this. And the feet can be hip width apart here, just that they are like on hip width apart train tracks, facing forward. Both toe sets facing forward. And then you lift your back heel up, tuck the hips under, so opposite to what I was saying earlier, your lower back gets a little rounded, and then lift your rib cage up, drop your shoulders forward, and perhaps let your arms help you there. Let your fingertips draw you upwards. If that is too strenuous, taking the arms up, just let your arms hang by your side, or take your arms here into this position, giving a little bit of stretch to the front of your shoulders. Do what feels right for you. And then lift out of here, and you should feel a stretch in the hip flexor. The more you lift your rib cage away from your hips, the more you tuck your hips under, the more you will feel that stretch. Then let go of that. Step your weight onto your front foot. Be aware if there's any gripping in that foot that is now starting to take your weight. And grab hold of your right ankle. Allow space to help you. Rest your hands on space. Shift your hips forward until you feel a stretch in your front thighs. If you want to, you can bring that imagination of those golden threads beyond your fingertips, holding you in your uprightness. So just resting the arms onto these strings. And then take that same leg outwards on top of your thighs, hands together, meeting the palms, meeting each other with warmth. Keep the front of your body upright and sit back. So look, there is no roundness in my back here. I'm sitting back, and the knee is as much as possible, the knee of the standing leg, above the ankle. And if you lose your weight here at all, then that could be an indication that you are not focused, that you are slightly distracted. If you are distracted, see if you can focus your attention on either the upward and downward force, or the breath, or pulling the belly in and up. So just bring your mind into focusing on one single thing, or just softening the feet into the ground. And the balance will be easier. And then come back up. Feel what you feel, notice what you notice. Bring your left leg back this time, right leg to the front. Lift the back heel so that you have also got a bit of a stretch on the back of your foot. So spread the toes off the back of your foot into the ground, and then you might feel a stretch here in this area there, between the ball of the foot and the toes. Then tuck your hips under. Lift the rib cage away from the hips. Relax your shoulders. If you're feeling the stretch in that hip flexor of the back leg, so in the front of the hips of the back leg, then you're doing the right stretch. And now you have that choice again, bringing the arms up, bringing the arms to the side, or the arms behind like this to bring another stretch to the shoulders. You can even do an inhale, exhale movement with your arms, bringing spaciousness to your shoulders again. So see what feels right for you. And then come with your weight onto the front foot. Grab hold of your ankle. Push the hips forward so you feel the stretch in the front thigh. Let both shoulders soften to the ground. Feel that length coming through your crown. Check again. Is my standing foot, this foot that is holding me, am I trusting that foot fully into the ground? Am I making use of my full base, of my full foundation? Can I soften that foot into the ground? And then take that leg, bring it sideways on top of the thigh, make use of space. Imagine you're leaning your arms onto an invisible support, and then sit your hips back. And then if you wish, you can bring your hands to your heart, focusing into the heart space. Feel a length coming out of your crown. Soften the shoulders down. Spaciousness between the toes and the ball of the foot. Feeling the roots through the foot into the ground. And gracefully come back out. Notice what you notice when you put both feet back to the ground again. What has changed? How is your mind? How is your mood? How is your breath? How is your body? What are you aware of in this moment in time? And it is time to come into our meditation pose. As always, you have many choices. You can sit on a chair for your relaxation. You can sit on the ground in easy pose, Sukhasana, Siddhasana, or cross-legged half lotus. Or you can lie on your back, a small cushion underneath your head like this. So I'm using the blanket here, bringing the back of the head, aligning it. So lifting, lengthening the back of the head away from the shoulders, palms facing up. And if that causes some gripping in your lower back, then you can bring a bolster, put it sideways underneath your knees, and bring the toes, the soles of the feet together, and let the knees drop out. So there are your options, either in this position with the bolster coming underneath your knees like this, letting the knees drop out onto the bolster so you don't have to hold anything there. Spaciousness between shoulders and ears, palms facing up. You can also take your hands onto your lower belly so you can feel the movements of your breath. And then go within with your awareness. So allowing that breath to expand within you. Receiving the breath, knowing how the breath connects you to this present moment. This present moment where you are allowed and giving your body permission and your mind permission and your soul permission and your spirit permission to let go of anything that does not serve you. And you open your in-breath into the width, into expansion, creating spaciousness in your body, feeling the prana, the energy of that in-breath extend out into each and every cell and molecule of your body, bringing an energy of lightness, an energy of healing. And make a conscious effort and a conscious decision to really receive that in-breath, to allow that in-breath. Our cells are far more in connection to our consciousness than we give them credit for. So if it were true that your cells are in continuous communication to the thoughts that are happening in your mind, what information are your thoughts giving your cells? And can you allow yourself to communicate positively to your cells, to trust your cells, to say, cells, molecules, atoms of my body, I allow you to receive the lightness of this breath. I am grateful to you for opening up to receive the healing energy of the breath. And I will do everything in my power to inhale as deeply, as openly, and as spaciously as my lungs allow me to. So allowing the belly to expand, allowing the lungs to expand, allowing the rib cage to expand to make space for the lungs, allowing width in the collarbone region, allowing the trunk to expand into the 3 dimensions, the front, the sides, the back. And then softly releasing, trusting your body's intelligence, your being's intelligence, to know what no longer serves, to know what you can let go of, so you can make more space for that next breath. Just taking the opening and the releasing, one breath at a time, as if it were an opening flower. Feeling the flower open, revealing the inner core, allowing the petals to drop, and a new bud of a flower growing out of the core of the flower before. Each flower more beautiful, more spacious, wider. Perhaps in one of your walks through nature, it is springtime now. You have seen lots of different flowers opening into the width, opening to the sun. Allow your whole body and the space, the relaxed space beyond your body, to be like that flower. Allow each one of those cells to be a little flower of itself, opening up, receiving, letting go. Letting go of the out-breath fully. It's all you have to do. Allowing that in-breath to flow in naturally. Expanding into you, creating spaciousness. Feeling the swirling the spiraling, the circling of the breath as it goes into every nook and cranny of your being. Just being, just you and your breath. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonat Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lie or sit there for as long as that feels right to you. Once you are ready to come back up, if you're lying down, lie on one side, trusting your weight to earth. And then lie on the other side, trusting your weight to earth. And then gently, with spaciousness and peace, go about your day. With gratitude to your inner teacher, my inner teacher. Gratitude to earth in your own ritual. Namaste.